Good morning. We are live in River Valley. Good morning. We are live from River Valley. We do have quorum and will be starting shortly.
Good morning, everyone. I need my land acknowledgement. I got it. So at this time, I would like to acknowledge that we meet on the traditional land of Treaty 6 territory and Métis homelands, and acknowledge the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as the Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Nakota Sioux, as well as Métis and Inuit, and now settlers from around the world. I will start with a roll call of committee members. Mayor Sohi is away on city business. Councillor Knack.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councillor Principe.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councillor Rutherford.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Mr. Burrows is not online, I don't believe.
No, he's absent with notice.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Madamambe.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we have Councillor Tang in the room as well.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I'm just going to look to see who else we have. Councillor Rice.
Good morning.
Good morning. And I think that's about it for right now as others join. That would be great. Okay. So now if I can have somebody move adoption of the agenda, please. Councillor Principe.
Certainly. I would like to move that the May 8th, 2023 Audit Committee meeting agenda be adopted with the following change. Replacement Report 9.1, Cybersecurity Program Audit Administration Response, and have it remain private pursuant to sections 20, 24, and 25 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Please vote.
I vote yes.
Thank you.
I'm a yes as well.
Thank you, Councillor Wright.
I am also a yes.
It's just not showing up for you?
It's just not showing up.
We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried. Approval of the minutes, Councillor Knack.
Thank you. Yes, happy to move the approval of the minutes from the February 13th, 2023 Audit Committee meeting and the April 21st, 2023 Audit Committee meeting.
Thank you very much. Any questions or changes? Seeing none, please vote.
I'm yes again.
Thank you, Councillor Principe. We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried. Protocol items. I do understand that our city auditor does have a protocol item for this morning. Would you like to go ahead, please?
Oh, this is the time to do it.
This is it. You're
All
on.
righty. I'd like to introduce a couple of fellows visiting from the Rwandan Office of the Auditor General. Their names are Etienne Zabonimana, I hope I got that right, Etienne, and Julius Mahosi. So if I could speak to why they're here, is that the Office of the City Auditor has had a long-standing relationship with the Canadian Audit and Accountability Foundation. The CAAF is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to promoting and strengthening public sector performance audit, oversight, and accountability in Canada and abroad. You may remember the CCAF back in August when they came and did a session on Audit Committee effectiveness. One of the other programs that they have is an international fellowship program in which fellows from various countries, from Rwanda to Senegal to Vietnam, come to visit various audit offices right across Canada to not only learn, but to share good practices so we can enhance accountability right across the world. So welcome to them.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to see sort of the cross, I guess, cross-pollination of ideas and thoughts on accounting. And I hope that you have some time this evening to also get a taste of Edmonton spirit with our Oilers hockey game going on tonight. Thank you very much. And if we can have someone select items for debate, please. If you'd sign up, please. And Councillor Rutherford.
Hi, I'd like to select 7.4 and 7.5.
Thank you. And Councillor Knack.
There we go. Sorry, hitting the buttons. I would just like to select the, that would be 7.6 and I think 9.1.
Thank you very much. And those were my selections. Mr. Maramambe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to select items 7.1 and 7.2.
And with 7.2 and 7.3 to be dealt with together, I guess that'll be all of them?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Just to confirm, Chair, I didn't hear selection of 7.4, but I did hear selection of 7.5, which I think would mean that we would do 7.4 as well, because they're to be dealt with together.
I did select.
Oh,
both.
you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
she-
Apologies, I just didn't hear that.
Oops. All right. So we have all the items selected for debate. So there's no items not selected, no request to speak, no request for specific time on agenda, I don't believe. Councillor inquiries? No. Reports to be dealt with at a different meeting? No. And request to reschedule reports? None. No unfinished business because we're so efficient. So I guess we will head on with or head out to our first item here, 7.1, Office of the City Auditor 2022 Annual Report. And we have a presentation?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Great. Go ahead, please.
So before I start, joining me are the office's Deputy City Auditors, Janine Mraglod and Sharon Hano, I think are on my right. And if I may add at this point, I can speak probably on behalf of everybody that our hearts and prayers are with those who've been displaced by the wildfires. Truly tragic. So next slide, please. So in the fall of 2021, this office created a 4-year strategic plan. And what you see there are the 6 strategic priorities of the office. In the report to committee, I highlighted a few great things that this office has done. We completed an organizational design, providing clarity in job descriptions, more opportunities for career growth, internally and externally, and holding honest and candid career conversations. We've updated our methodology to enhance audit focus and quality. And I think the greatest piece of feedback one can get as an auditor is when administration, specifically a member of ELT, says your audit report is quote unquote beautiful. We applied analytics in most of the audits that we're doing, and we're using analytics to monitor where risks is within the corporation. We've invested and uplifted each member of the team as we journey through significant change management. These are just a bunch of small activities that we've done as an office for the last 20 months to transform our practice. Next slide, please. When I first started, I was tasked with the mandate of honoring the past of the office, yet springboarding us to the future. I can tell you this is absolutely happening when you look at the report. So the question is, how do you know that, Ho? How do you know you're achieving the desired result? Collectively, the stats unit reports in the report shares the following observations. We're getting more of our proposed audit plan completed, not just quantity, but quality. We're providing more value-add advice through advisory services. Administration is implementing most of our recommendations on time, a measure of actual change. In our first full year, we have used analytics in more than 2/3 of the audits that we have completed. We're continuing to invest in team members. We're aligning these investments personally to each individual to help them with their career trajectory. And lastly, winning the hearts and minds of the team. When we hit 58, I lost a couple of nights of sleep. When we hit 88 in the last glint survey, I almost cried because that was their gift back to me. But in the end, it speaks to their dedication, their commitment, and their passion for serving the city of Edmonton. Without them, nothing in that report could have been possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you to you and your whole team. I think that is great results. Do we have any questions? Please sign up. Mr. Maramambe, you chose this one. Would you like to go first?
Yes, I can go first,
Thank
Madam Chair. Thank you for that opportunity. Great presentation to the city auditor, and really appreciate all the hard work that your team and yourself have, managed to deliver so far. The first question I have for you was, just for us to try to understand how you, summarize your overall results so far. What is the summary, that you can give us for the year?
I think collectively the measures are really speaking to a team that is fully committed to that strategy. And when I say fully, I go back to the hearts and minds, a team that's willing to be courageous, to be part of a very significant change management exercise, if not transformation. I think that's the big story that you're seeing in the statistics.
Yes, and certainly when I review the KPIs, they are reflective of, some of the excellent work that's being done, and certainly confirmation that the work is being done right. I just wanted to follow up with that to say, from a resources standpoint, do you believe that the office is adequately equipped to deliver on, its KPIs and its overall objectives?
Yes, I've come to council for, the data analytics resource, which is paying off in dividends that you can't ever imagine. I think we're right size when we did a comparison to the Association of Local Government Auditors survey, which kind of tells you right across North America with the size of a typical audit shop. I think we're right size. The real challenge is, again, as with a lot of organizations, recruitment challenges. People are having a hard time finding good people because it's just a tougher market.
Yeah, and my last question to you would be, overall, how do you assess, the office to be faring in comparison with similar offices across the country and possibly across the world? From
what metrics, or is it just kind of an overall sense?
Overall sense, yeah.
When I first started, the challenge was out there for us to look at other practices, look at benchmarkings through the IIA, read other jurisdictions' audit reports, and then do an internal assessment. My opinion is you got a very, very high-performing audit team that is serving you, serving administration, no, not serving administration, helping administration, and serving Edmontons. I think you are very lucky to have this high-performing team.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you very much. Oh, I better put myself on to speak or to ask questions. I'm sorry. So with your sad departure, you do feel that the audit team is in a good position with how you've set things up going forward?
Absolutely, Councillor. And I'm going to be really fair. It's not how I set this team up. It's how the team found the courage to be part of a significant change management exercise. And when you do that, you gotta have courage, because change management is not easy, not in the public sector nor the private sector.
Okay, well, again, thank you for all your work and for the team's work as well. Looking at the results here, yes, there was challenges, I think, in 2021, but I think all the results have shown that things have been brought up to more acceptable levels. So again, thank you for all the work that you've done in helping to lead that team. Thank you. And Councillor Tang.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate this. Recognizing, I believe this is your last audit meeting, I wanted to be here in person, and certainly thank the report, but of course your work as well. I'm curious. So between that 58% jump to 88%, and continuously being able to track data like that, for that particular one, what were some maybe specific tactics or strategies the team implemented to kind of go from 50-something to 80-something?
So anytime you have employee engagement survey results, to do nothing with it is relatively silly. Now, to lose 3 days of sleep, probably silly too. But what we did as a team is we sat down and we said, what do these numbers mean? What are some of the root causes? Where can we collectively and individually contribute to this? So we had breakout sessions back in the fall of 2021, I believe, and we put on board very honestly and candidly, what are some of the challenges? Every one of us has a role in getting us back up to 88. I had a list of things that I personally committed to, and I'm sure the team members will tell you that I was maybe too religious in implementing everything like very regularly like a good auditor did, but they all did as well. They all bought into the program, and in our office, we have quite a few campers, and the analogy we are using is the office of the city auditor RV. We're all on the RV. We're going to journey forward into the next couple of years, and I think, look, you're all in a great place with the team that you have.
Excellent, thank you. And wanted to, I guess, seek your advice too, to ensure that the office and, and the city continuously be on that upward trend with many of the indicators you've had, which is great to see. I guess any advice from what you and the team could benefit from, what could council members, I guess, do? Any advice there?
I'm just going to speak generally, and it doesn't just apply to the office city auditor, but it applies to all corporations, public sector and all, that change takes courage. You're not going to get 100% of the people on board for change right away. And that's what you're seeing in the 58. It was a change management dip. What you'll normally see is a rebound, because there's a team who's accepting a change and willing to do it. So it's really, really easy when you're in the midst of it, because it's tough, to just say, you know what, I'm going to point at this or point at that. Or you can go, you know what, we're on the right track and most people are aligned. And you try to avoid as many of those bumps as you can, whether you're in council, whether you're in administration, whether you're a leader, whether you're a staff member. But it comes down to courage. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not easy. But what you're seeing in the report is that it can be done. That's it.
Great, thank you so much. Well, thank you, Hua, for all your service and work, and I look forward to next year's annual report and see what new heights we get to. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tang. Councillor Principe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also wanted to say thank you for everything, for all the work you did, and you said change takes courage. So I'll be courageous, and you know, we're going to go through some change, but as my colleagues have said, we know that there's a great team in place. So, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you, and I also wanted to, I was going to ask what Councillor Tang was asking, what can we do as council to help? And you did answer that, so thank you for that. And I'm really impressed with the report. All the work that you accomplished, wow, I'm really impressed. Well done. It was very thorough, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Principe. I think you sort of summarized everybody's feelings on this, so thank you. Councillor Rice, you're on the board. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to our city auditor, and auditing work for the big corporation is not easy and is really challenged. And because you are facing different expectations for the time, and as new councillor, I work with your office, and I want to say thank you for the professionalism, and thank you for your excellent knowledge on audit, and thank you for your leadership leading your office to do lots of work, and you are actually present today. And I can see that positive trend, and will move forward and carry on, and for our city to have good audit work and in place. So I really want to sincerely wish you all the best in your future. I do have one question. So, Madam Chair, so I'm not sure my question is only allowed to be 7.1, or my question could be asked during this presentation.
I'm sorry, Councillor Rice?
Yeah, so I do have a question, and is my question only to allow to 7.1, or I can ask any question on this presentation page?
Well, we're just on item 7.1. If your questions deal with the
Okay.
other items coming up, then I'd maybe hold them until that time.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
That's all? Great.
That's all, bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much. So not seeing any other councillors on the board, can I have somebody move the recommendation in the report, please? Mr. Matamambe?
I do so move, Madam Chair. The recommendation that the Audit Committee, accepts the Office of the City Auditor 2022 annual report is presented.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions? Speak to it? Seeing none, please vote.
We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried, and with our thanks. And now we'll move on to items 7.2, 7.3 to be dealt with together, and we have a presentation on that.
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Should
Thank
be
you.
coming on screen right away. So really the report should speak for itself, and it does, in that it highlights that administration has closed 2 recommendations since the last Audit Committee. We have 2 overdue recommendations, and in discussion of administration, I believe they are continuing to make good progress towards full implementation. We are trying to provide a little bit more information in the overdue recommendation section to provide you with a bit more context on the progress that's being made. You will see 2 charts on the screen. I think they're really good charts that maybe in the future we can bake it into our regular reporting to you. But the chart on the left really tells you what I would call the aging of recommendations. What you don't want are too many on the right-hand side of that chart. We only have 1 that's over 2 years. But the fewer you get there, the better, because things become less relevant over time. So I think that chart speaks really well as to how old the recommendations are. The other chart on the right is really what I would call a flow. It's a flow, an inflow and outflow of recommendations, and it tells you, are we adding on more, closing out enough in a fairly balanced manner. Councillor Rutherford, in the previous meeting, you had asked for better and more easily accessible recommendations dashboarding on our website. I want to share with you that with the support of the comms and engagement team, we are refreshing our website, which I encourage everybody to go look at. The design is stunningly beautiful for an auditor. But what we're going to do with the assistance of our data scientist, Alfred, is that we have prepared the recommendations dashboard. We're actually testing it right now to make sure it has the right information and that it's easy for a user to maneuver. And we'll incorporate them into our public website in the near future. And that would be it.
All right, and that's for both 7.2 and 7.3? Is there a separate presentation at all for 7.3?
7.3 is administration's report.
Oh,
in
yes, I'm
relation to
sorry.
this.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, do we have 7.3 admin present before we deal with any questions?
That's my understanding that we'd normally do that, yep.
Okay, so I guess can we have administration, whoever's presenting?
Just give us a moment while we change out the
Okay,
delegation.
thank you.
Apologies, there's no presentation for 7.3.
Okay, so we will go straight to questions on both 7.2 and 7.3. And again, Mr. Matamambe, you had selected those, so if you'd like to go first.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the presentation to the City Auditor. I just want to follow up on the long outstanding recommendations, the overdue ones. I know that there is a bit of context and there is a follow-up response to that, but having an item of this significance being in the state that it currently is in is a bit concerning. I'm just not sure what your thoughts are on that.
And my guess is you're making reference to the disaster recovery program.
That is correct.
I'm going to speak to it generally because the information related to it generally should be discussed in private. But it was a fairly large endeavor to implement some of those initiatives. So it is going to take a bit of time. In my opinion, I don't have any concerns. We've been engaged with the OCT group fairly consistently, and they are making progress.
Thank you for those comments, and I certainly look forward to discussing that further in private as well. The second question pertains to item 2, which had a due date of March 31st, so just wanted to confirm if this has since been signed off. I think it was April 30th that the revised implementation date.
The revised due date is April 30th.
That's correct, yeah.
We're 8 days into May. I don't think the team has gone back and done the follow-up. Well, I would like to believe, and I hope, that once we get the documents, which we're waiting for, that at the next audit committee, there will be a report to say that recommendation is fully implemented and closed.
Excellent. Thank you for that, and really look forward to, that confirmation at the next audit committee meeting. If I may just jump on to the next question, which pertains to the recommendations that are not yet due. Yes, as at the time the report was issued, they were not yet due. And my comment pertains to the fact that June 30 is around the corner, and some of these items have been in progress for a while. Just wanted an overall comment on that from the audit side, if that's okay.
So I did not study what's been done to date, but I will assure you that we are meeting regular with administration on every one of these recommendations as part of our robust processes to make sure that we're aligned and we're moving along nicely. So I wouldn't be able to give the details. However, should this committee wish for a little bit more detail on these and the actions that have been taken, we'd be happy to share that in a memo.
Yeah, I think it would be beneficial for the audit committee to, get that level of detail as well, given, the number of items that are being tracked at present, and certainly also looking at some that have, a very long implementation timeline, because the follow-up question to that would be, is there a level of comfort from the office of the city auditor that the items that have long implementation timelines are actually on track as well? We have items that have a December 31st timeline, and there are several of them too.
Sorry, maybe a question to committee. Would you like to see something like, if you go to the overdue recommendations or even close, where you write about a paragraph, a couple of sentences that says, here are the things that we've seen that have been, implemented or that administration's working on? Would that be helpful?
For my end, I think it will be helpful. I'm not sure if for the rest of the committee that will be too much detail, but I think it's just going to help to make sure that there is a better oversight over the implementation process as well, and particularly bring about that sense of agency to ensure that all items are immediately worked on as they come due.
Sounds good. So oh, sorry, Councillor.
No, I was just sort of trying to do just a quick little straw vote on whether or not that memo would be appreciated, and I think it would.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I can amend that, rather than a memo, that the commitment from the office will be at the next audit committee, the report that you see, this recommendations dashboard, will be updated to reflect some of the actions that management has taken to implement the recommendation. We'll build it into the information directly.
That would be great. Yes, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you.
No, I have no further comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. And I'm, I guess, a little concerned when we're revising the due dates. So the next time the report comes out months overdue, will it go back to showing the original due date, or will it then just show past due for the new revised due date?
We're showing you the original due date and then the amended due date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it comes back next year, that it's still not done, I'm not saying that it's not going to be, would it then show like 28 months overdue, or would it only show 9 months?
It should show 28.
Okay,
Yeah.
it will? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you very much. And then my other concern, I guess, and that's sort of come to light over looking at these reports, is the close date. So it's not that the actual item has been completed, it's just that administration has sort of acknowledged that they've been working on it?
Yeah, and I think your question goes back to the last audit committee where Councillor Rutherford asked around the different levels that you would follow up on audit recommendations. So as I shared at that time, there, depending on the office, so I don't know if the Office of the Auditor General of Alberta has changed their practice, but they would do a full-on audit to ensure that those recommendations are fully implemented. Other shops will do a review level, meaning we're going to gather information. So let's make the assumption that there's a recommendation that administration will prepare a plan with performance measures. At minimum, this audit office will go and look at, show me the plan, show me the performance measures. Now, would we actually do audit level testing on those performance measures as to whether they meet the SMART criteria? Probably not. I think, again, this is a balance of resources and time that you're committing. And I think we're in the right place at the review level of assurance. My personal suggestion, it may not carry much weight after 4:30, is that we continue at the review level of assurance, because you're going to have to give us some resources if we have to follow up on recommendations and fully audit them.
Okay, because I'm looking at the ARA item saying it's closed April 6th, but yet we're still, that information is not going to be brought to council until Q3 2023. So in my mind, that's really not closed until we actually approve it.
You'll have to clarify the question. As far as I know, the two recommendations you see on page 44 of the package, is that those two recommendations, based on a review level of assurance, that those outstanding recommendations are now closed in our opinion.
And for the audit team to come back to do a further assessment that it has been actually closed would require additional resources. Is that right?
If you would like our office to do audit level of assurance, then we'd be open to the idea. But just I'm always mindful that we're using taxpayers' dollars, as you all are, and that the extra lift on it. I think you'd have to sit down and really assess the cost benefit of 2 FTEs to look at. And I'm just hypothetically throwing numbers out there, an additional 2 FTEs to get to an audit level of assurance on recommendations, and what's the kind of the benefit that you're getting relative. So you do have this office, which is independent and objective, going out there, doing a review level, looking at documentation, and in a way, I believe that we've done enough work to give ourselves comfort, which ultimately should give you comfort that those recommendations are fully implemented.
In the future? Or steps are being taken to implement them? Steps
are taken. They've been supported by evidence of some sort,
okay,
and that we believe that management is generally there. So let's say again that hypothetical example of having a plan and performance measures. As an auditor, if administration came to me and said, well, you know what, we're crafting a plan of some sort, I would not come back to this committee and say that recommendation's closed. I would want to see the existence of a plan. I would want to see that there are performance measures associated with the activities. Now, whether that plan is most robust and meets all the whatever it is, you may not get that level from at a review level, because again, it takes a whole bunch of time to do a proper audit level testing.
All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And Councillor Rutherford.
Thank you. My line of question was similar to Councillor Wright's, just again, kind of digging into that processing and sequencing. And so I've been listening intently to your answers regarding that. And I get the difference between the review level assurance and the audit level assurance. And I definitely agree. I don't think we need to go there, but I feel like there seems to be a sequencing or a process concern that remains. So when I look at that first closed recommendation, as was highlighted by Councillor Wright, sorry, I'm just pulling it up, I can see that, yes, it says that the service branch updated their guidelines for arterial construction. So I'm guessing based on what the recommendation was that the update the arterial roadway guidelines. So I can see how it was closed. However, it's kind of still in draft because it says it's being circulated for feedback. So to me, it's at an advised level of public engagement right now, still to be finalized, and then also a bylaw coming forward in Q3. And so I guess my concern is that if we close it now, things can still change. So you're looking at sort of the draft and saying, yep, I'm satisfied with the draft. But that draft, once this is closed, the draft can change. So I think that's where the concern is coming on that check and balance, that the intent of the original audit and those recommendations is carried through until the finish line. Can you speak to that? And if you understand kind of where our concern, my concern is coming from?
Yes, I am, and I'll share. I'll let Janine respond, and I may supplement on that.
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to say that for us, it's when the intent of the recommendation has been implemented, and in this case, administration has done their part and gotten it sort of to a point where they're now waiting for council approval. And it's kind of one of those things where we could keep it open until the council approval comes, or we could say they've implemented. So we made the call to say it's been implemented so that it didn't remain open just while it was sort of waiting for time to pass to be approved. So we could have done it either way, you're right, but in this case we decided to say to administration that it had been closed, but maybe in the future we'll change that because it's causing some confusion here.
Yeah, well, and I think that again, like this is sometimes I worry that we're having this dashboard and we want to show that, we've closed so many recommendations within a certain time that we might be too aggressive in closing just so that we can get those good metrics. And so I think there is a balance that has to be found there, because to me, intent is not outcomes. And for audit, we need to see outcomes.
I think I want to just add in that throughout my entire career, I've dealt with many, many measures as an auditor. It has to be supported and make sense. So for me as an auditor to go in and try to expedite one of these and say it's closed for a metric, to me it doesn't hold with me personally. Now, what I will say is there's a lot of PJ, professional judgment, in this world. So when I look at the facts that you have on that recommendation, administration has crafted its guidelines, and it has committed in writing in this report that it will bring a bylaw forward to you as council.
I guess so. Just in my last. So for example, I flagged that it's circulating to industry. I'm guessing industry is going to be not too keen on more stringent regulations on anything to do with arterial roadways, because usually increased regulations mean increased time and increased money. So I guess this is where I think that point of, do we have the problems we have? Yeah, I'm not really articulating myself well, but I think for me, seeing what changes are made after the engagement would be key to following this through the full trail. So that's just my feedback on this. I understand the professional judgment. I understand the balancing of everything, and absolutely the intent of recommendation. So thank you for that, and we'll continue to find that sweet spot. Thank you.
And if I may add, if it is the will of Audit Committee and Council to have us do further work, audit level work, on the recommendations, we'd be open to it. I think there has to be a thoughtful analysis on the cost benefit of the work and what value it's bringing and to what extent, because I think you use the word outcomes quite a couple of times, and some of these aren't, they're linked to outcomes, but at the end of the day, does changing a guideline ultimately change outcomes? And then we'll have a debate later on around, well, really, it's not causal, it might be a correlating factor, and then we'll get into another deeper conversation. But I think this office is welcome to it. If you guide us, we shall do the analysis.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Rice?
Thank you. I do understand the concerns, and my colleagues, Councillor Wright and Councillor Rutherford, brought up. So my question is, do we have a standardized process as regulation requirement and to be followed up on the recommendation implementation? And because right now, and then I do heard the concern, if we spend so much energy and time to do the auditing and then come with the recommendation, and then but how we ensure the recommendation really reflect so the purpose and original intention when we did the audit. So I just want to understand that the standardized process. So what does that mean? So I would like to know the standardized process is in place. I would like to know if the standardized criteria in place. And I would like to know the third one is about, is there separate independent body to do this review work to ensure implementation for recommendation be effective, or is it the same office to do that work, or is it a combination between administration and auditor's office to do that work? So if that makes sense for my three questions.
Yeah, and I'll answer your latter questions first. In the audit offices that I've worked for, I've never seen a separate body that goes in and follows up on the recommendations. Again, maybe I'm a bit old school and there's a new way of doing things. Hey, happy to explore it as an office. Back to your questions around what are some of those high-level controls and processes to ensure administration has implement the recommendation. Well, what you do have, and I think you made reference to an independent objective body, is the Office of the City Auditor. That's what it's designed to do, to provide you with information to help you make informed decisions and to hold administration accountable. So I'm going to walk through some of our processes that I've shared previously. Roughly every 90 days, a member of our team goes and reaches out to administration and says, hey, how are things going? We committed to ABC. How are things going with ABC? Maybe you're on XYZ. Hey, let's have a conversation as to why it's XYZ now. So it's just making sure those things are kept on track. We send our dashboard or outstanding recommendations report to administration every month as a gentle reminder that these are out there. So that's additional information for them in ELT. We have this report, which is yet another tool for Audit Committee to hold administration and myself to account. You get the information, you're asking the hard questions of me, which is beautiful, I love it. But you know, when the CAAF came in August, they shared with you your oversight role as an Audit Committee member. Your oversight role is to look at the information and ask the questions. Has change happened? What's been implemented? Great. What are some of the lessons learned? So in a way, I think you're doing it. But maybe the challenge is you don't have as much information as you need. But that might be an evolution over time. So there are multiple parties and multiple controls that are in place that helps ensure that those recommendations are implemented.
I understand that internal control is in place, and however, from public perception, because this dashboard is open to the public, right? This dashboard is open to the public.
It will be once it's hitting our public website, yes.
Yes. So if it's open to the public, when public look at it, and they specifically seeking the difference and before audit and then after audit. And then that's the difference is what I mentioned, effectiveness. Because any audit work is, the final end is to looking for the improvement or looking for change. But how we demonstrate that change, demonstrate that improvement. And it's not only about how many days agents or this already due, overdue. So I think these more about reflect this audit work really, and then to have some influence on the improvement and the changes happen. So I think that is my key point there. And I don't feel like if we just say, oh, this is overdue, this is not overdue, we are still not implement this recommendation, and it will really reflect that intention and all the energy and cost we put in the audit work.
Yes, Councillor, I really appreciate what you said around, it's not about dates and numbers. A good auditor will not go in and chase dates. A good auditor will actually chase in, are there process control changes that have been implemented? Now, I think the question is, how much information do you need as an audit committee to give you comfort that things have been implemented? And as I stated earlier, we're more than happy as an independent objective office to share as much information as you need. Just be mindful that there are, again, costs and lifts associated with these requests. Look, it's about finding that right balance, and it would sound right now for this audit committee that it may not be. So I committed earlier to updating the report to provide more information on the recommendations not yet due. Let's wait until next audit committee, take a look at it, and if you still need more information, let's revisit and have that conversation again.
Okay, thank you for your answer, even though not fully answer my questions, but my time is out.
Okay, thank you. And I'm providing you a little leeway today because it's the last time we're going to hear from you. So thank you. I just have a question. So is it incumbent upon administration then to ensure that when they bring forward the reports, and I'm just going to use the ARA bylaw as an example, for them to be making sure that they have addressed those recommendations, or is it incumbent upon council when we're approving it to remember back that these are the recommendations and they've been met?
It is incumbent on all three parties of Triangle. If you go visit our website, there are three parties to this relationship. There's administration who manages, administers, and implements programs and policies. There is this independent objective audit office that goes and provides conducts audits to provide information as to whether those programs and initiatives are working well. And of course, the third leg of the table would be council to make sure that administration is delivering those programs accordingly with various information coming from our office as well as administration.
Okay, thank you. Because I think with some of the snow and ice items from way back, I think a lot of us were under the assumption that action had actually been taken, not just planned. So,
yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have. Mr. Matamambe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just a follow-up question, and this is directed to the administration. I wanted to find out from the administration if, they have any specific comments in terms of, the overall assessment of the implementation practice that's currently in place.
Thank you for the question. I think the process is working well. I think that providing the additional information that Hua is committed to as part of the Office of the City Auditor's dashboard updates will be helpful both for this committee and for administration as we work through implementing the recommendations that the auditor has made for us.
And then in terms of, commitment from, the various business lines, what is your overall thought on that?
I think that administration is really committed to implementing the recommendations within the due dates as provided. Sometimes they are amended, but earlier this year, I think we had 3 of our administrative updates on the auditor's dashboard reports where we had no recommendations that were overdue. So we are working really hard to meet those implementation timelines. There are a few, like the disaster recovery program that Hua has explained has been a bit more complicated, that have taken longer, but overall it's something that I think we're very conscious of, as Hua mentioned. The auditor shares information with our executive leadership team each month, and then we work with the business lines to ensure that the executive leadership team has up-to-date information on those overdue recommendations.
Yeah, and then in terms of the recommendations themselves, what's your assessment on the practicality thereof? And do you feel that administration is getting enough involvement in shaping those recommendations and owning them?
I think Hua could speak to this as well, but each business area is quite involved in each audit. And so the business area works really closely with the lead auditor on shaping those recommendations and the timelines for when they would be implemented by as well.
Yeah, and if I may add, during the audit process, particularly when you're doing the testing and when you're vetting the draft reports, we are quite engaged in vetting each finding with administration and really figuring out what are some of the potential challenges. Are some of these recommendations actually practical? In a previous life, I think I saw a recommendation that said, we recommend you implement the system. Well, if that system's going to cost you $100 million, it may not be practical. But those conversations are and should be happening throughout the course of an audit to refine those recommendations. If I may add on, any follow-up on that? I got one more to add to the end.
No, I think I'll wait for you to finish. Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to add on to the previous conversation around, dates and times and all that. If we want almost full, I don't know if you can get the absolute full closure with full information and all that. If we want that, I also want for us to be mindful that, what you're going to see are longer dates out into the window. So that ARA one, instead of saying, March 31st, waiting for approval could take another 4 or 5 months. So anticipate that if that's the direction we want to go. It's just food for thought.
Thank you very much. I don't see anybody else on the board. Mr. Matamambe, do you want to move the recommendations in the 2 reports? Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like Councillor Rutherford is signed up.
I was just going to speak to it.
Okay. So, did you want to move the recommendations, and then we'll allow Councillor Rutherford to speak to it?
Yeah, I will, Madam Chair. Thank you for that. So I will move forward the recommendations. This is for items 7.3 and 7.4. So move that, the administrative update on the auditor's dashboard be accepted as presented.
All right, and just to
Yeah.
clarify, I think it's item 7.2 and 7.3.
Yes, and thank you for that point of order. And then for 7.2, move that the Office of the City Auditor recommendation follow-up dashboard report as of April 19, 2023 be accepted as presented as well.
Thank you very much. And to speak, Councillor Rutherford.
Yes, thank you very much. I first want to start by saying how excited I am to hear about the public website and the dashboard. It sounds very exciting, and I can't wait to share it. I think that's a great example of the work that you have done as the city auditor to make sure that we are communicating out well to the public and creating an audit team that we can really be proud of. And I want to highlight that I agree on the metrics, and I wasn't, my questions and my line of questions was not in way insinuating that there is a manipulation of those metrics, but more what I think is a misalignment of when that closure happens. And I look back at the two that were closed today, and in my opinion, one would be considered closed and one would not be considered closed. So for example, the city auditor himself said, the question that we ask is, have these recommendations been implemented? And I think where we're not necessarily aligning fully at this point is what is implementation? Because to me, a draft that's circulating for feedback and has not actually been drafted and rolled out is not implemented. Whereas the second one talks about specifically same from the same audit, it talks about how they created the assessment procedure manual for calculating amounts as well as the rationale, and that this manual was implemented. So I see them as very different. And so I think what we're trying to highlight here today is not that we need an audit level assessment assurance, that the review level assurance is fine. But what is that definition of implementation? And do we need to have a more fulsome conversation about when implementation really justifies that closure of recommendations? And I think it's a minor tweak and it's a minor shift to get to that sweet spot. So happy to follow up further with conversations with the Office of the City Auditor on what that could look like, because I do stand by the fact that I don't think that recommendation, that the first recommendation that was closed should be closed at this point. That being said, I'll still accept for information and make diligent notes so that that bylaw does come forward, I remember amongst the million things that we have to remember to go back to that original audit and make sure that that we are being accountable. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rutherford. I think if we all try to remember, maybe one of us will. So, anybody else to speak to it? Or Mr. Badamambe, do you want to speak to close or go to vote?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just, add that, overall, I think we appreciate, all the work that's being done by, our Office of the City Auditor. And from my reading of the reports, the work is in line with the required, IAA standards that the office follows, and I am appreciative that there is confirmation that more information is going to be presented in the subsequent reports. So that's going to help, the Audit Committee better assess, the progress, on the status of the implementation. So looking forward to seeing that report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please vote.
We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to items 7.4 and 7.5 to be dealt with together on grants and subsidies audit. and a presentation.
All right, we're going to queue up the presentation. So over the past 5 years, the city has provided hundreds of millions of dollars in grants and subsidies to external agencies, organizations, and individuals to support council priorities, city strategies, and goals. Just real quick, learning lesson for me, grants are distributed using a fairly formal process with eligibility criteria, formal application, and selection processes. Subsidies are more discretionary in that they're approved by council as part of a broader budget process. Our audit looked at whether administration is managing the grants and subsidies in a way to achieve value for money relative to the investment in the community. Next slide, please. As usual, I highlight in the first two bullets some good things that we observe, which is the grants and subsidies governing documents are aligned with good practices. The second thing we saw is that the sample grants and subsidies have clearly defined objectives and are aligned with the city's strategy. However, we highlight a couple of findings. First is around the inconsistent administration and grants and subsidies, including monitoring for compliance. These grants and subsidies are managed throughout the organization in different business areas. Although, as I stated earlier, there are policies and procedures, we found inconsistencies in how the different business areas are administering the grants and subsidies. For example, there's inconsistency in the documentation of why recipients were selected and the availability and completeness of agreements. We believe this is attributed to a lack of training and monitoring of business areas' administration of these grants and subsidies. The other area I want to highlight is really around evaluation of grants and subsidies. The grants and subsidies we reviewed were not evaluated or reported on whether the outcomes were achieved. Evaluation is a very, very critical and important process. It allows for the assessment of the effectiveness of the use of funds. So I think it's important to look back, because if you've achieved the desired result, maybe there's a thought that has to go to, maybe we don't fund it anymore and we fund other things. If you did not achieve the desired result, I think through evaluation, you can step back and go, hey, are there things that we can do differently? Are there different ways we can approach this that will make us more effective? So we made three recommendations around training, some monitoring and reporting, and developing good guidance for evaluation of the different business areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And do we have any presentation or comments from administration? We'll just give them a moment to get in place. Thank you.
So good morning. The Office of the City Auditor has conducted a review of grants and subsidies, payments to external entities to determine if administration is managing grants and subsidies to achieve value for money invested in the community. We will be providing Audit Committee a summary of the admin's responses, as well as a brief overview of the current state. With me today, I also have Kent Bjornstad, Director of Corporate Accounting Reporting and Policy, to help address questions, and obviously Stacy. Next slide. So the city has two guiding documents outlining how administration is to provide funding to external organizations, which are Administrative Policy A1476, Municipal Funding Arrangements, and Administrative Directive A1460, Grants and Other Contributions. Administrative Policy A1476 was approved in March of 2021 and was developed to recognize the many different forms funding allocations can take, and was intended to set high-level principles for the allocation of municipal funding. Administration intends to replace Administrative Directive A1460 with separate guiding documents on grants, sponsorships, rebates, donations, and subsidies. So a grant is defined as a contribution where eligibility criteria and/or stipulations are compulsory for the recipient. There's a formal application and selection process, and there is a future obligation attached to the funding, in that the funding must be used for a specific purpose and to reach an outcome as set out in the grant agreement. Grant programs are under delegated authority of the city manager, and therefore are managed by administration through this formalized process. Administration can establish requirements, evaluate outcomes, and make recommendations for any changes to grant programs or funding levels to City Council. A subsidy does not have eligibility criteria or an application process and is generally provided to organizations to subsidize their operations to achieve city objectives or goals. Some of the more significant subsidies the City of Edmonton provides are to the Edmonton Public Library, Explore Edmonton, and Edmonton Unlimited. Subsidies are more discretionary than grants, and funding amounts are often decided by City Council during budget deliberations. Next slide. So this chart provides a breakdown over the past 5 years of what the city has provided to external entities broken down between grants and subsidies. The city has provided a total of $811 million in grants and subsidies over the past 5 years to other entities, with anywhere between $139 million to $196 million per year. The large majority of the funding is in the form of subsidies, totaling $712 million, or 88% of the total amount. Grants accounted for the remaining $99 million of contributions, or 12%. These payments are structured under a variety of different programs, arrangements, and budget approvals, all of which should follow the guidance provided in Administrative Policy A1476 and A1460, grants and other contributions. Next slide. So as we just discussed on the previous slide, subsidies account for approximately 88% of the total grants and subsidies over the last 5 years. The total subsidies provided in 2022 were $181 million. So this chart highlights some of the more significant subsidies provided by the city most recently in 2022. Edmonton Public Library at $53.6 million, Explore Edmonton, $18.8 million, Edmonton Art Council, $18 million, and funding to affordable housing partners through the Rapid Housing Initiative of around $14.7 million. Other subsidies were provided to a variety of organizations and for differing purposes. Just naming a few, this would be for day services and extreme weather response, and funding to Reach Edmonton and Edmonton Unlimited. Next slide. So in comparison, grants account for 12% of the total grants and subsidies over the last 5 years. Most recently, in 2022, the city provided $15 million in grants. This chart highlights some of the larger grants provided by the city, including $3.6 million for the Affordable Housing Investment Program, $1.9 million through the Community League Infrastructure Program, $1.6 million for Community Safety and Wellbeing, and $1 million for the Heritage Conservation Program. Next slide. To address the auditor's findings and recommendations, administration is planning to undertake a number of actions over the next year that include clarifying guidance through the governing documents, developing and implementing compliance monitoring, increased focus on outcome reporting, and training related to administration of municipal contributions. Further details of activities within each of these categories is detailed in the report, but just briefly, some of the plans include updating the governing documents to simplify the guidance, providing clarity with governing documents around roles and responsibilities, clarification and further development of monitoring and reporting requirements that will be performed by the Financial Services Branch and the relevant business areas, developing guidance around outcome reporting, as well as establishing a process on how administration can report back to council or committee on the outcomes of providing funding to external organizations, and development of ongoing training on the governing documents. This work would be done primarily by the Financial Services Branch, with significant involvement from some of the key areas within the city, such as our Social Development Branch, who have extensive experience and relationships with external organizations receiving grants and subsidies. This work would occur over 2023 and 2024, with full implementation expected to be completed by the end of the first quarter in 2024. And so, as I mentioned, more details on the plan can be found in the management response section of the report. Next slide. So one of the key findings and recommendations in the audit report was to develop guidance on outcome reporting and process. And so we wanted to take some time specifically to speak on this one. Outcome-based reporting allows us to understand what organizations receiving funding have achieved and the differences they have made against program objectives and desired outcomes. This will be one of the more impactful parts of the implementation plan. Currently, there are not a lot of external organizations that receive funding from the city that provide detailed outcome reporting in a meaningful way that shows how the money provided to them it helps achieve the city's objectives and outcomes. These organizations will be impacted by the outcome reporting process. Administration will establish a framework and guidance to evaluate the outcomes intended to be achieved for grants and subsidies provided to these organizations. This may include standardized reporting provided by external organizations to the city to help assess if the grant program or subsidy payment supports the achievement of the desired city strategy and the intended outcomes. Administration will evaluate whether the recipients of grants or grant programs have achieved the desired outcome of the grant. This may also lead to recommendations by administration for continued funding for these grant recipients. For subsidies provided specifically to boards and authorities, such as Edmonton Public Library and Explore Edmonton, as you just saw, those are approved by council as a part of the budget process. Administration will still provide a framework to support consistent and timely outcome reporting and will track compliance with funding arrangements. This outcome reporting can then be used by council to decide on future funding amounts for these organizations. We understand that organizations receiving funding have differing levels of experience and comfort with outcome reporting. Some have advanced grant application and administration practices, and some are working on developing this capacity. The city's diversity and inclusion framework states that it is important that city processes and practices are fair for everyone. This objective will be considered, especially for developing the outcome reporting requirements as we implement these recommendations. It will be important that the processes are simple, transparent, and equitable. We will need to find the right balance between the need for financial controls and best practices and fair and equitable processes for all groups. To help inform this work, the Financial Services Branch, in partnership with business areas that are providing and administrating this funding, will gather input from stakeholders when developing and implementing the process improvements. Next slide. So over the remainder of this year, we will work with key internal areas and external stakeholder groups as necessary to implement the recommendations from this audit. The target date to implement the planned actions is the end of the first quarter of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And we'll see if anybody has signed up for questions. Councillor Rutherford, I think you selected the items. Did you want to go first?
Sure, happy to. Well, I first want to say I'm really heartened with that last slide because my line of questioning was all around sort of proportionality, and I was worried that by implementing the recommendations from the auditor, we may end up having, you know, a really arduous outcome reporting process for smaller subsidies or grants. And so can you just speak to, is there going to be any consideration from administration for proportionality of the grant size or the subsidy size in terms of reporting back? Is that one of the things you're considering?
Certainly, Councillor Rutherford, that is something we'll be looking at. So we'll be researching best practices, speaking with other municipalities to see what practices they've implemented, and certainly the capacity of the organization and like a threshold potentially on the amount of the grant is something we'll take into consideration.
Okay, yeah, I would appreciate that because I would just imagine, you know, we'd want a lot more, you know, I guess proof of investment on let's say $1 million grant than a $1,000 grant. So I just want that to be a piece of that consideration because I would hate to create more red tape that creates unintended consequences of barriers. So that was one of the big reasons I wanted to pull this. And what other equitable and fair considerations will you be considering in this process?
So other things we might consider is we'll be looking at the capacity of the organizations as well and how they're set up for this type of reporting. So there might be some assistance from city administration even in helping these groups start to develop some of this outcome reporting processes. But again, something we will look at as we engage with these stakeholder groups and review best practices as well.
Great. And then I did see in the report that, you know, sometimes things weren't categorized properly. For example, they were categorized as grants when they really should have been sponsorship. Can you speak to, you know, is that something that can be quickly implemented in terms of better definitions that can be rolled out, or what are you thinking there in terms of making sure that even in the reporting that they're getting categorized properly.
Yeah, so I think that is something that we can address fairly quickly, and it's going to require some training on account coding and items such as that. So probably something we could fairly quickly and easily address.
Okay, great. And then with the subsidies, I know you didn't mention that subsidies are really often what, council decides at budget. Are there any subsidies that were in scope of this audit that are within the delegated authority of administration? I can't imagine all subsidies have to be approved by council.
Yeah, go ahead first.
So I can, while Janine is kind of looking into that, so the largest majority of the subsidies are the ones that go to boards and authorities, like the ones I mentioned to Edmonton Public Library and Explore Edmonton, Councillor Rutherford. There are some other subsidies and operating support we give to organizations. So the ones that come to top of mind are, for example, through the Rapid Housing Initiative, through that flow-through grant. So we provide our operating support to some of our affordable housing partners. So that would be an example of something that is more within the jurisdiction of administration.
Yeah, well, and I was seeing like in that pie chart, which is great, by the way, I really enjoy it. I love visuals. That, the other category was still a significant proportion of money. So I imagine that within that other category, I would be curious what percentage of those others are council approved versus administration approved. Because still, I think it equated to 55 million or something. So it's still a pretty big sum of money, right? With sort of very different requirements in the grant stream. Is my understanding correct?
Yeah, that's true, and it's a fair split, I would say. So you have GEF Seniors Housing, you got Homeward Trust Bridge Housing in there. You have the Air Opportunities Fund that we provided a couple of years ago, the Community Investment Operating Grant, Edmonton Global, Edmonton Federation of Community Leagues. So it's a split. I would say just upon like initial inspection, I would say a lot of it is weighted to some of those subsidies to boards and authorities.
Okay, yeah, just again, if you could, when I'm thinking about in OP12, if that could be something that could be highlighted around, wish within the subsidies, the opportunities there, because that's $712 million. That's a huge amount of money. So any kind of exploration around admin on that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rutherford. I guess I'm up next on committee. There seems to have been an increase of about 65 million from 2020 levels, and I think in the report it indicates that that was mostly for homelessness and affordable housing. So I think you've mentioned the subsidies, 14 million to rapid housing. There was a mention of GEF getting some as well. Does that include the property tax rebate? Or that's done as a grant, isn't it? For some of those housing providers?
So you've recently approved a grant for housing providers, so you wouldn't see, those would be coming in 2023. So I don't believe that you would see any of that in here. So in the past, if you're asking about any of the housing providers that were exempt, those exemptions wouldn't appear here.
Okay, they don't, okay. So what's the other 65 million, what's included in that? We've got GEF, we've got the 14 million for rapid housing.
Sorry, Councillor, right, just to clarify, you're asking for the increase in subsidies between 2020 and 2021?
And then there was a little bit more into 2022 as well. I'm just looking at the difference between 2020 and 2022 with 65 million.
Yeah, so I think the largest component of that was the RHI funding, the affordable housing funding that we provided to our affordable housing partners.
Okay. But that was in the form of the rapid housing?
That was one of them. There was other funding we provided for affordable housing as well, day shelters and such.
Okay, I was just trying to get I think as with Councillor Rutherford, just concerned about what that 55 million other was for. Okay, and my other question, with, I think, I don't know, have you been working with community services already? Because I think they have already sort of set out guidelines for FCSS funding and for the smaller community investment operating grants going forward as well.
Yes, we've been working very closely with community services and the social development branch specifically. So as we're rolling out these recommendations and implementation plans, we'll be working side by side with that team.
Okay. And did the audit encompass any of that work that was already going on with FCSS funding?
In terms of the framework that they were
Yes.
building out?
Yeah.
We looked at the central guiding documents to make sure that they're, to review them.
So maybe just in terms of FCSS, FCSS, and I'll maybe defer to Ms. Smith because I see her on the call today, but it also has very specific reporting guidance and audit requirements under the program of the province. So I just wanted to separate that from some of the other grants that we provide under the City of Edmonton banner only.
Okay, so yeah, so FC, okay, and Ms. Smith, if you want to jump in on that?
Sure. FCSS program was probably the first program that started requiring us to do outcome measurement, and that's where we've built a lot of our outcome measurement into other programs like the Community Investment Operating Grant. We built from some of those outcomes because they relate to the work we do in social development. So we'll be able to support that work a lot, I think, as going forward because FCSS provides us with really nice high-level outcome measures that we want to achieve in the community.
Okay, great. And I looked for you online earlier, but didn't see you. So I'm glad Ms. Padbury pointed that out. Thank you very much. That is all the clarification I needed. Thank you.
And Janine rightfully gave me the right information that FCSS was scoped out of our audit.
Oh, okay.
Not included.
Okay. Thank you. And next we have Councillor Principe.
Thank you, Chair Wright. So my concern, as well as the jump from 2020 to 2021, now, and I know that a lot of the jump is from decisions made at council. Was it all the decisions that were made in 2021, or was there some decisions made in 2020 that impacted the number for 2021?
So I would say probably a combination, Councillor Principe. So I think there was probably decisions that were made during the fall budget deliberations in 2020 that impacted 2021 decisions, and then probably funding decisions that were made during 2021 as well that increased that number.
Okay. And can I make a request here that I would like to see the number, a graph like this that we see on page 3 of administration response on item 7.5, the graph. Can I request that we get a breakdown 2013 to 2017 as well? Is that a lot of work to do?
We can do it. It's probably easiest and fastest if we did the same years that were on the slide, but we can look at going back further.
Yes. Yeah, just like this graph that we have here, if you could do it from 2013 to 2017.
Oh, sorry, you want the graph, not the pie chart.
Yes,
sorry,
just the graph.
Apologies.
Yeah, that's certainly
Is that
something.
easy to do? Like, I don't want to make a lot of work, but if that's something
No,
that's
that we
easy
can
to
do,
find.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would be great. I would like to see that. Yeah, just because I am concerned with the jump, but I am happy to see that we're ensuring that we're getting the outcomes that we want to see. Okay, that's it for me, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're done with committee members. So Councillor Tang.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this, the report and the response. I had a lot of similar questions that's been asked already, in particular, kind of the unintended consequence of what it means for kind of that evaluation portion. How might it translate down to kind of organizational level, which I think you did address. I think Harm, you had mentioned that there will be quite a bit of, your team will be able to support any organization to kind of help them through that process, kind of like in a coaching coaching advisory capacity, and I mean, that takes resource as well, but you feel like you can do that right now within your current capacity?
So yeah, I want to be careful what I say here, but I think if we see that need, that's something certainly we'll look into and how we can support, and we'll do the best with our resource capabilities we have right now.
Okay, great. I had a similar line of questioning about FCSS, recognizing it's out of scope, it's very specific, but I was thinking about best practices. You know, I've always been very impressed by the common outcomes framework work that's been done there, you know, getting everyone who benefits from the grants to kind of report in an equitable way. That's no small feat. And I wasn't sure at what stage does the audit itself will consider some best practices like that and be part of the consideration of your recommendation, or is that something administration will take on moving forward? Because I'm also thinking of even external funder, for example, the community foundation, and what kind of best practices there is so that you're not necessarily starting from nothing, right?
So I can certainly say from admin's perspective, that is like we will be researching best practices. We've already started talking with the City of Calgary into some of their reporting practices, and we'll do that with other municipalities as well and look at other best practice guidance out there.
Okay, so that will be the follow-on step that we can expect.
Yeah, and if I may add, Councillor, anytime you start planning an audit, you're always looking at what are some of the good practices out there that you can leverage to help inform the criteria of your audit. So, you know, the next agenda item is around cybersecurity frameworks, and then this framework is internationally recognized as one of the best frameworks you can adopt. There are frameworks all over the place. I think it's just finding the right one that fits the City of Edmonton.
But I guess as part of your audit then, like you did look at kind of some of the various tools that were.
Absolutely. You look
Okay.
at multiple sources and try to inform what are some of the good practices one would expect to see, and that's formulated in our criteria.
Gotcha. Great. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tang. Mr. Motamambe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just coming back to, you know, the outcomes measurement issue, because I had notes there basically proposing to ask a question around whether or not grants come with performance obligations, you know, in terms of KPIs and everything else. I see that, you know, reading the report, that some of the grants were issued without, you know, obviously following through on whether or not the governing documents requirements are being met, and it appears the timeline for implementation of that recommendation that administration agreed on is March 24th. I'm just wondering what cannot be done now to just make sure that as the grants are being issued, you know, the requirements are being met. Why would it require, you know, almost a year to implement, you know, as opposed to immediately dealing with it as and when the grants are issued?
That's correct. So we have said March 2024. Now we've already started rolling some of these practices out into our current grant and subsidy agreements. So we are putting some metrics in there and some reporting requirements. We just want to be mindful to be as consistent as we can. So and to work with some of the stakeholder groups to ensure that they can work with those outcome reportings and the outcomes that require grants. So it just may take some time to kind of roll that out across the organization in a proper way with the training as well. So that's the March date, the March 2024 date is like a final implementation plan. We will work progressively throughout to implement these things.
Thank you for your response. Yeah.
If I may supplement as well, and then I think this goes back to an earlier conversation with Councillor Rutherford around, look, outcomes, results are long terms generally, right? We're looking at 5 to 10 years. And, you know, administration is doing its best to build out the framework, and I'm guessing that their Q1 2024 date is based on, hey, we can build out the framework, but we still got to make sure that some evaluation has been done to assess whether it's done well. So there is a time element of it to get enough information to say, yes, it's working somewhat well. Now, will they wait 10 years for the true outcome of a grant? Probably not. And that's the challenge.
Thank you. Was there anything else, Mr. Matamampi?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was just obviously putting everything into context and recognizing that it's, $181 million we're looking at. So clearly, there would be, that sense of urgency required, to ensure that at least steps are taken to get the processes operating as intended. But I do appreciate the comments that have come through.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Rice.
Thank you. So my first question is a follow-up with Councillor Principic's questions. The jump and from 2021-22 compared to the 2028 is almost like over 30% from how much money and city gave away and for the grants and the subsidies. Is there any specific data to show what jump reflected? Specific increase in which area and in which program?
So maybe start and Harm can supplement. The majority of that increase was for affordable housing, and I think what you're sort of witnessing is the greater need coming out of the pandemic, and some of those, the municipal stimulus program, for instance, was one of the things that gave rise, increased funding that contributed to that variance that was announced in COVID to help us be able to, and then we directed that to affordable housing. So I think part of what you're seeing is the increasing pressures, but the majority of that difference between 2020 and 2021 is affordable housing related.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And also another question related to, is more subsidized increase, however the grants decreased, and compared to 2018 to 20, if you look at the grants, only $15 million. Why is that? What's the specific reason behind?
I would have to go back and double check because I'm just looking off the top of my head here. We did actually make reductions to grant programs in the 2019 to 2022 budget cycle. And that's what's contributing to the lower amount of grants in the later years.
So this cross appears is not really aligned with the principle after COVID-19, our city provided support to certain programs and through the grants. So this is why I ask a question, why the grants decreased and the subsidies increased a lot, over 34%. So I just want to put a question there. Looking forward to follow up information. The next question regarding the recommendations and the response. It's my understanding all the reporting requirements and for the grants and subsidies and currently we already have in place. What's this administration response just will make the difference? And then to me, there is no specific difference approach to the existing reporting requirements. And can you comment on a little bit more about how this response could make the more difference than the existing reporting requirements in place?
One of the key differences to me between what we currently have in place and kind of what is being proposed here is that we have a lot of, in our grant agreements, we have a lot around output reporting, so looking at financial statements and business plans, but not a lot right now around outcome reporting, objectives and targets to be achieved and how those organizations are achieving those. So to me, that's one of the biggest differences you will see with the implementation of this plan is the outcome reporting.
So like everybody understand here what I heard, outcome is a long-term goal and it's not easy to measure the effectiveness and also it's not easy to report. And with requesting reporting on outcome, I'm a little bit concerned about for how we can see the progress and in the tangible results for every year's grant or subsidies we provided. So this to me is not clear. And also there is no benchmark in place to say how we do this outcome reporting. And then as this reporting requirements is we're going to increase the grant or subsidies again and then keep climbing up, or we have the benchmark to say this is a benchmark and this is a target, and we are reporting on this type of sense and to ensure our money spent responsibly and efficiently and effectively.
So if I can just quickly respond to that. Yeah, so outcome reporting is challenging, so it's not something that's easy. That's why it's going to take us a while to implement it, to look how's the most effective way to roll this out. But everything Councillor Rice said there about not having benchmarks and it being challenging, it's true. So it will take us some time to look into this.
So without benchmark, I didn't say this is any improvement and compared to what we have in place already. So I just want to put a comment there. My time is out. And back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Rice. You're sticking around, so I'm not going to give you as much leeway. Okay, thanks. Councillor Principe?
Thank you, Chair Wright. I just want to know, do we anticipate the same numbers for 2023 that we see in 2022 from the decisions that have been made so far?
I think you'd expect numbers to be pretty close in terms of subsidies and grants, and potentially even increase depending on how we, if we're able to provide funding for other affordable housing items that we know that we're looking for funding for but haven't secured yet.
Right, okay. And another question, so when we're talking about outcomes, return on investment, is it possible that it can happen that the same dollars are being used by two different organizations to claim return on investment? Does that make sense?
Not the same grant dollars, but the same dollars that they're counting something to show the improvement that they've made.
Right.
Since we don't have really, I think this is something that we'll have to look at when we're doing our work on a framework and outcomes reporting. I think the answer is yes, they could be, but it also might be legitimate that would be the case, that more than one organization would be doing something that could create a return on investment or a return on social investment. Right,
but I guess I'm concerned about the number of return on investment might be a little bit skewed if only, does that make sense? Because only a portion, they'd only be responsible for a portion of that return on investment.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you're highlighting is the difficulty and the challenge that we have in determining what is the right long-term outcome to measure and what is the true thing to look at to determine if there's progress.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great, thank you. That's it for me, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Just with that return on investment, could some of that be skewed by, in order to, so the money that they get from the city is then what's needed to qualify for other levels of government funding? And would that sort of multiply what the return on investment would look like?
I don't have the information in front of me because we didn't audit provincial funding or federal funding that these entities might get, but one would assume that they're going to get money from different sources. I sit on a not-for-profit board that does international development, and you know what, we get our sources of funding from Foreign Affairs Canada and other sources, and do they ultimately contribute to lesser childhood marriage in certain countries? They all probably contributed in some ways, so they're just different buckets. And I think the important part here is the measurement part, which is really looking at those outcomes. What are those measures, and are we achieving them? I liken this to weight loss. If I came to you and I showed you a report every year that says I do, you know, I work out 3 times a week, I think I eat well, here's my calorie intake, but if my overall health is deteriorating in 6 years, I don't know if all those workouts and caloric intake is really helping me achieve what I'm trying to achieve. So, and I think the more important part is stepping back and saying, what does it mean? Can we correct course? Do we need to correct course? Or have we achieved it, and do we need to adjust our goals?
Okay, thank you very much. My other question has escaped me momentarily. I have to ask this. Of the subsidies that were provided for housing, for affordable housing and whatnot, how much of that could have been provided by the provincial government under their responsibility?
So I'm not quite sure how to answer that, because I think, like, if you look, some of what is in here is a flow through of provincial dollars also, like the money that we got in the municipal stimulus program, I believe, shows up in this list because we used it to subsidize supportive housing units, the construction of supportive housing. So I would need to do a much more detailed analysis to be able to respond to that question appropriately.
So, because for the most part, we would provide, normally we would provide like land and help with that, but operationally, isn't that more provincial jurisdiction?
Yes, operationally for sure. I would say though that we're not often operating affordable housing. What we're doing is providing that land, and sometimes we're providing other sources of funding that are used to construct units.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have. Any other questions, committee or other councillors? No? Councillor Rutherford, did you want to move the recommendation?
I'd be happy to. I move the recommendation that this report be received for information, both 7.4 and 7.5.
Thank you very much. And anybody to speak to it? I don't see anybody new on the board. Councillor Rutherford, did you want to close?
Nothing further.
Nothing further. All right, please vote.
We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried. And we are moving on to item 7.6, cybersecurity program audit. And looking forward to the presentation. The last one.
Madam Chair, I know, and I don't know if anyone else did, I selected it, but I don't have a need for a presentation. I think the questions I have are in private, and so in interest of, unless others need it, I would be happy to just move right into questions.
Anybody else on committee want to see the presentation?
I think from a public perspective, it would be the public portion should still be an open presentation. So public is aware of what the auditor had to say.
Thank you very much, and I think it's also his last one, so let's let him do it. Thank you.
Well, it'll be great news to everybody before lunch that I don't have a public presentation. The information that is in the package is the information that should be provided. The details of the report will be in private session where I do have a presentation there, should it be chosen to be discussed and presented.
All right then, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions on the public report? Okay, seeing none. 3210. Does somebody want to move that we go into private? Councillor Principe?
I'll move that we go into private, subject to sections 20, 24, and 25 of the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act.
Thank you very much. Questions? No? Please vote.
We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried, and I'll give the clerk a few minutes to clear the room, except for those required for the questions? Or we didn't have to, I just thought it might. And we are in public now? Okay, did somebody want to move
We are
to-
broadcasting.
Yes, we are? Okay. Did somebody want to move to extend orders, please?
I'll move to extend to complete the agenda.
Thank you, Councillor Knack. Any questions? Please vote.
We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. And that is carried. Thank you. Any other questions in public? No? Councillor Knack, did you want to move the recommendations in the report?
Happy to move the recommendations for both 7.6 and 9.1 receipt for information. And that's that attachment 1 of the May 8th reports remain private sections to 20, 24, and 25 of Freedom of Information Protection and Privacy Act.
Thank you, Councillor Knack. Any questions? Can't see the board, assuming none.
Just confirming that what's up there is just referencing the one report and that the vote is on both reports. Just with committee, that's confirming that, yes?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Councillor Knack, did you want to close?
No, thank you.
All right, please vote.
Sorry, it's frozen on me. I'm a yes.
Thank you, Councillor Knack. We have all the votes.
Display the votes, please. That is carried. And we're moving on to item 8, responses to council inquiries. There's none. We've dealt with the private reports. Any motions pending? None. Notices of motion and motions without customary notice? No. And before we do adjourn, I just want to extend our thanks not only for Audit Committee, but for Mayor Sohi and all of council, and in fact all of Edmontonians for your service, Ho, as a city auditor and in help in building the audit team. I do appreciate that. You started back in July of 2021, and in almost a couple of years, like I said, you've really done well to build the audit team and set the processes in place. So I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Shall we give a clap? We're not in council, so I think we're allowed, yes. All right, and with that, thank you very much all. We are adjourned.